Most of us fantasize about retiring from our 9 to 5 jobs by the age of 30. You imagine what it'd be like spending quality time with your loved ones, traveling, and living off your investments while enjoying life. But reality can hit you hard when you realize how far you are from your dream. In short, you don't have a blueprint for your future early retirement. But how much money do you need to retire? Many early retirement experts discuss the 4% rule. But what exactly is it? How does it function? And how does it assist you in using your investments to fund your retirement? Well, I'm Kim, and today we're going to learn how to use the 4% rule to turn your early retirement dream into a reality. Are you ready? Let's get to it. Let's start with defining the 4% rule. The 4% rule is the idea that you can aim to live off of an average 4% withdrawal of your portfolio each year during retirement to maintain a comfortable lifestyle. It was created using historical data and market returns over a 50-year period. It might seem out of the realm of possibility, but there are a group of people who are living proof that you can retire at the age of 30. They're advocates of the FIRE movement, which stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. And by following the 3 steps below, you can learn how to make it work for you. Determining the 4% rule for you is actually pretty simple math. Based on an average stock market yield of 8% each year, if you withdraw 4% and reinvest the other 4%, you can keep living off that amount indefinitely. Take your current living expenses and multiply by 25, and that is the number you need to have in order to retire based on the 4% rule. For example, if you can live off of $100,000 a year, then you would need $2,500,000 to retire. But if you can reduce that to $20,000 a year, then you just need $500,000 to retire. And that brings us to the first of 3 steps that I mentioned a moment ago. These steps will help you get to your FIRE number even faster. Step number 1 is to be frugal. Being frugal means spending wisely. It is you being thrifty whenever possible. It's hard at first, but if you can learn to be comfortable with the idea of delayed gratification, you will see just how much being frugal will benefit your future. The sooner you get started being careful with your money, the sooner you'll come to retiring early. How? Well, reducing unnecessary expenses and contributing that money to your investment portfolio provides for exponential growth in the coming years. And that ties directly into step number 2, which is saving 50 to 70% of your monthly paycheck. I know what you're thinking. 50 to 70% seems impossible. But believe me when I say that if you approach it in the right way, it is completely possible to get to this level of savings within a year or so. However, the reality is you can't live an expensive lifestyle, spending money on cars, travel, eating out in fancy restaurants, and the like. If you're going to focus on your long-term financial picture, then it is time to carefully evaluate what you spend your money on and what you truly need in order to live comfortably. Keep in mind that discipline is required. If you are serious about achieving early retirement, then it's time to really commit to the process and have a clear strategy. And speaking of strategy, that brings us to the 3rd step, passive investing. Warren Buffett is famous for his style of value investing. He works to, quote, buy ably managed businesses, in whole or in part, that possess favorable economic characteristics, end quote. And a large part of his investment approach also involves a passive investment strategy, utilizing index funds. What are index funds? Well, I have a bunch of videos on the channel that go into a lot of detail. I will leave a link in the description. But in a nutshell, index funds are passively managed, broad-based funds based on large segments of the market. For retirement accounts, like individual retirement accounts, index funds are typically regarded as the best core portfolio holdings. Warren Buffett often touts index funds as a safe haven for retirement savings. He has stated many times that you can receive a better return by passively investing in an S&P 500-based index fund than attempting to choose your own specific stocks. So, people who follow this strategy are not trying to beat the stock market, but rather, they are just simply passively investing to match the market's historical rate of positive net return over time. Over the past 100 years or so, the stock market has generally returned between 8% and 10% annually. Accordingly, based on historical data, you should never touch your principal investment while withdrawing your 4% after retirement. According to research, people who adhere to a framework easily accomplish their goals. The 4% rule is difficult to implement at first, but as you learn it more thoroughly, you'll see how practical it is. The path to retiring early is difficult in the beginning, but you'll eventually find the ideal route to your financial freedom. Of course, if retirement is something you're passionate about, then be sure to click here for this video where I outline a plan that could help you retire in as little as 10 years. See you there!